All right. Greetings, everyone. So that wraps up trade number 9. This is phase 2 of the 2X project on QUOTEX. Um, I believe that we're aiming for a balance of 780, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 780 is 390 times 2. So this is the second phase. This is initial. This is a starting balance of 390 in the account. So we started this account balance with 390 for phase 2. And right now we're sitting at 735 approximately. So we should be good on the next trade, which will be trade number 10. And that'll close out phase 2 of this project. So again, this is the 2X project. That trade just now represented trade number 9. So whatever our balance is going to be on the 10th trade, that'll be close enough to 2Xing the account. So the 390 starting balance, we're looking to bring the balance to 780. So it'll be somewhere around there. It'll be close enough. And then we'll continue on from there. All right. So basically, I've been doing more of just plain observation. And I also was in a different part of my house just now. So I had to come to the studio so I can record the audio for this commentary. But I've been doing a lot more observation so that you can actually see what I'm looking at. You can see where I am putting markers on the chart to kind of get an idea of the places where I'm looking to see if the market is having any types of reactions. And the reason that that's important is because the movement of the market has a lot to do with whether or not the market will react when it reaches a price level that it has previously been at, where it may have had a reaction. So, for example, it could be a price level where the price moved there quickly and moved away from it quickly, and you see that manifested by a wick. It could just be an area where there were multiple movements towards a price level or in the general area of a price level, and then the market reacted each time. So, traditionally, what that's called is support or resistance. But it's more than just support or resistance, because we're not limiting the observation to whether or not the market, bounces off the level or goes through the level. We're just looking to see what the price of the market does when it hits that level. And many times, those levels are also good to see when the market is headed that way, how it is moving. That's another part that I haven't discussed that much, but that's a big part of it also. How is the market moving up to a price level where it has previously been? Is it getting there steadily, consistently? Is it, moving in an unstable manner on the way there? Or is it moving in a stable manner on the way there? Like, these are all things that tie into movement. And this is why your observation is so important, because you need to see how the market is moving the entire time. The more stable that the movement is, the more confident you can be in the market's consistency of behavior. So when it creates a cycle of behavior where it's actually manifesting through the candles, your confidence in the cycle is increased because of your confidence in the market's movement. So when you see that the market is stable and that it's moving in a stable manner, what that does is it gives you confidence in what the market is currently doing. And it also gives you a clearer picture as to what the continuation of the market's current stable movement is going to be. So it's kind of like the market will define its stability, and that stability will remain until the market reaches a point where there's some type of a reaction. So that's where the markers are coming into play. I'm looking at places where the market has had reaction previously, and I want to see how the market built up to those levels with its movement, how that movement is. Is it stable movement? Is it reversal energy inside of the movement? Is it reaching there by a lot of back and forth activity? See, all of that unstable movement, it plays a part in whether or not the market will whether or not the market will give continuation of movement. That's what I'm trying to say. It lets you know the market's going to continue to do what it's already doing. So you need to isolate the times when the movement is stable, because when you have stable movement, that's what the continuation is going to be. And then that will give you confidence in your trade once it ultimately sets up as a result of the movement and the behavior being in alignment. Like, this is what I've been talking about repeatedly throughout this entire series. Movement, behavior, stability. When you put those two things together and you have them in place before your trade sets up, they are backing up your trade. Because remember that a trade is just simply you choosing the direction. That's all the trade setup is. People complicate trade setups more than they have to be. It's not complicated at all. A trade setup is just simply what direction you're selecting for the trade. That's it. Now, the market moving in one direction or the other, it can be a temporary thing. It can be an ongoing thing. It can be a short-term thing. It can be a 1 minute thing. So in other words, 1 minute it might be moving up, the next minute it could be moving down. So you're trying to isolate the timing of not the direction of the movement, but the behavior of the movement. Because whatever the behavior is, in addition to whether that behavior is stable or not, that's going to determine whether or not when it does move, that is going to remain where you need it to go. You see? So this is why it's not just as simple as picking a direction. You don't just pick a trade like, oh, I'm gonna go with a buy because I see blue candles. Well, you might be seeing blue candles, but those blue candles may have manifested the way that they are in an unstable manner, and there could be a reaction to a price level that you're not seeing because you're not looking to see where the market has had previous reactions at. You're not looking to see what points or what places, exist where the market has previously reacted. And that could be exactly where the market is headed, or it could be exactly where the market ends up being when you enter your trade. So you're expecting the market to move in one direction and it ends up going the other way. So you see how it all plays a part in your trade results. It all plays a part in the outcome of your trades. You want the outcome of your trades to be profits. That's it. In order for that to happen, you have to be correct about where the market ends up, right? So whatever direction you select, it must be based on some type of stability that you've seen, whether it's the stability in the behavior, meaning that the cycle of behavior that's present, you see it and then you trade based off of that cycle, and you're fully confident because you see that that cycle is intact And that's what the market is doing. So it continues to do that. That's one way. Another way is the movement itself. When the market is moving stable, you can isolate the direction that the market is moving in because it's giving continuation of the direction. Why is it doing that? Because the movement is stable. The movement is stable and there's no reaction anywhere as far as price levels go. So in other words, it's like there's nothing in the way, so to speak. The market is just free to continuously move in the same direction with the same stability of movement that it has. That's another example. One thing that you can also look at is, are there fewer wicks on the candles overall? Why is that important? Because the market can be moving in one direction and then reverse and move the opposite direction, but it can do that to the point where it reverses the candle completely, meaning that it turns the candle the other color. See, sometimes you can have a wick on the candle, but it's still the same color. Example, these two blue candles here. You see this one has a wick on the top. This one has a wick on the top, but they're still blue. But then look at this red one. This one has a wick on the top and it's red. So you can see that the movement came back down beyond where this candle started at, and that's why the candle turned red. You see? So it's these types of things that observation allow you to see. And observation is the only way for you to accomplish everything that I'm mentioning. You can't do it any other way. You have to observe the market. So this is why there is so much observation going on in these videos. Someone actually had commented on it on one of the recent videos that I released, and they were like, well, where's the audio? And, you know, I had to tell them that there's audio in the video, but you have to watch the whole thing. It's not just about getting to the trade and seeing what the trade did. When you watch the entire video, you get to see how the market looks all the way leading up to the trade that I end up in. You need to see what that looks like. Why? Because it's not just about the trade that I'm picking or the trade that I end up in or the entries that I'm taking. It's not just about that. It's about what leads up to it. See, when you watch the observation videos, in other words, when you watch these videos all the way through, you get an opportunity to see why I'm doing it. You can see everything that led up to me doing it. That's super duper important. Like that's invaluable. So you guys need to definitely take advantage of the fact that I'm doing this series now, because, you know, once this series is over, I'm going to be back in the income phase again. And that's it. So, you know, at least you'll have this library of videos to refer back to and to watch so that you can see what I mean when I say observation. You can see what I mean when I say learn how to understand the movement of the market. You can come back to these videos and just rewatch the whole playlist, hours and hours of it, because some of these videos run long. I think I had a video that was close to 2.5 hours. Some of them are shorter, of course, you know, 15 minutes here, maybe 30 minutes there, maybe an hour here, there. But if you watch them all the way through, you get a chance to see exactly, like I'm doing exactly what you see me doing now. I'm actually looking at the different markets. I am observing. I'm watching. What am I looking for? I want to see the market develop stability. I want to see the market develop a cycle of behavior. See? And as I'm watching and observing, and then the market does it, you get to see what I do when I actually enter into the trade. And you start to understand why I entered that trade. It begins to click and to make sense because you're watching the entire observation from the beginning to the end. Don't just fast forward to when the trade sets up. Oh, let me see what trade he took. It's not just about the trade. As a matter of fact, it's really not about the trade at all, because you can take a trade anywhere you want to, All you're doing is picking a direction. That's all the trade is. But the question is, why did you pick that trade? In other words, why did you pick now to trade? You picked now to trade and you placed a buy order. Why did you do that? That's the question. You see, you have to be able to answer that question, and you need to know what you're doing before you enter into a trade. So what's going to help you with that is these observation videos. I know that already. That's why I'm doing it. And you guys have to realize this is not for me. This is for you. I didn't have to start. Like, you guys realize I started this account with $190. This video series began at 190 in the first phase. Now we're in the second phase. So we took the balance from 190 to 390, which was 2x. And now we took it from 390 to where it is now. So on the next trade, which will be trade number 10, that'll be about 2x. That's why it's a 2x project. So I'm showing you what it takes to 2x. I'm not just showing you 2x. Oh, here, watch me double my account. It's not about that. Who cares that I can double my account? The question is, can you? Can you do it? And that's why you need to train, so that you can learn everything that you need in order to do it. Another thing, too, that I wanted to mention, some people are thinking that this is a signal service that I'm doing. Clearly, you can see this is not a signal service. A signal service is of no use to you if you don't understand why you're entering into the trades. It doesn't mean anything. So I have mentioned, that I'll be doing live calls at some point, and I will eventually do that. But you have to understand that there's way more value in what I'm teaching you first, because I'm teaching you about what I'm actually doing that produces a live call. Like, if I'm saying, all right, we're going to be buying here, guys. We're going to be placing a buy here. It needs to make sense. Well, why are we placing a buy here? See, if I say we're placing a buy here, you need to know why. It needs to make sense. You see, it needs to make sense. Otherwise, you're just following something that I'm telling you to do, and you don't know why you're doing it. And that will not elevate you to become a professional trader. What happens on a day when I don't give any live calls? What are you going to do on that day? So you see the point that I'm making? And that's why I have not done the live calls yet, because the live calls are not the most important thing at all. They're just something in addition that I found, would be interesting to do. But so far, I haven't even had to do that. And I really don't have any need to do it, because these are way more valuable. These videos, these observation videos where I give commentary and I'm breaking everything down and I'm actually teaching and training you. And mind you, these are available to everybody, these videos, to the public. Well, Mark, you're giving the training away for free. No, I'm not. Because you still need to train. You don't know what a cycle of behavior is. You hear me say it, but you don't know what that means. You see, you don't know what it is. But once you get into training, you'll learn exactly what it is. You don't know what nuances are. You're not a part of the group sharing your recordings and getting feedback. That's all part of training. You're not in a 24-hour group chat with us. That's all a part of training. See, that's what you receive when you actually put some skin in the game and you sign up for training. You get access to all of that. And you need that. That's exactly how you're going to grow and develop. How else do you expect to trade at the professional level if you're not doing professional level things? It just doesn't make any sense. You see? Doesn't make any sense. All right, so anyway, let me wrap this up. So I will see you guys on the next one. Y'all know what it is, Mark Fuller, Team Alliance. So this is trade number 9. in the bag. This is phase 2, 2X project on QUOTEX, 390 starting balance. I'll see y'all on the next one. Love, peace, and soul. Dom de Monco, Dom de Monco,